Hey guys, so I'm continuing on with my backdrop projects and coming close to finishing. Mainly really want to get it finished too because I've got a bunch of other things that I want to get started on, and I have been working on different things for quite some time. There has been other things happening in the middle which takes my time away from it, like our holiday and just basically having to edit footage and make sure there's videos up and everything for you guys. Work, life, you know, all the rest of it. But I've got next to me here, I don't know if I'll be able to spin you around, sort of. You can see a bottle that I'm working on there, which will be another tutorial once I get that finished and edited. I'm also going to make another potion bottle, but there's a whole bunch of sort of rearranging that I need to do on the backdrop and fit the bottles in where they best, you know, will go. So let me spin you around and show you where we're at with the backdrop so that you can see where I'm up to. Alright, so I've got the light shining on it there so you can get a better look at it. So up the top, you know, you've got some of my smaller bottles, the cloche with the bug, that skeleton that I bought when I was doing the Halloween videos. I really like that skeleton there, although a few times now it's slid off randomly and ended up on the ground. And it's weird because it'll be up there with no problems for ages and then all of a sudden it's on the ground. So I don't know, maybe I've got a little ghosty in my studio. I have the bottles that I did with the labels from Etsy, the rose bottle, some bits and pieces I picked up at Hunted Antiques and Collectibles. I've got a little kind of dragon character there that I picked up from Mythical Markets, and keys and various other things. I need to fix this suitcase because I used double-sided tape which just doesn't even stick anything. It's absolutely the worst double-sided tape I've ever used. So, and it's meant to be able to mount pictures and everything. It's just, no, it's not good. So I'm going to hot glue stuff back onto that. My pressed fairy that I've just recently created, she did come out a little wonky because when I fired her she sort of moved a little bit, but I love the wings, how they came out, and you know, I'm not a doll maker, so I think for that, I think she came out not too bad considering, and she's pressed fairy, so she can be a little wonky because, you know, when you get squished, that's what happens. The little mini Curiosities little cupboard there with bits and pieces and eyeballs down there and stuff. I'm probably going to rearrange these things, so this is just where they're at the moment. That bottle sitting there, I kind of want to do something to, but I'm not sure what I want to do to that one yet, and that will probably be one of the last projects. Also down here I have this empty bottle which I'm probably going to put like an ink and glittery potion in. I will film that. I don't think I'll do a tutorial on it because I've seen a lot of people do similar things, so I'll just show it as part of, you know, how I finish off the backdrop, so that you can see what I'm doing, but there's not a lot to that process really. You can see my glittery like jeweled bottle there, that was a video. The altered art bottles, again, that was a video. There's a feather that I bought recently, and I've got a calligraphy set which I will be honest and say I've never even used it. And I tried to sort of stick the nib of one of the pens on the end of the feather just so it looked like a wizard, you know, old-fashioned. I know you can buy them, but you know, this is my little cheap makeshift one. Cool lock and key that I got from our trip. Down here I have this little box that I made with the pressed fairy that I got out of one of the Brian Froud pressed fairy books. It's not quite a sticker, it's really more of one of those like glass, what are they called? You know, those removable pictures you can put. They're not sticky, but the static kind of sticks them onto things. I can't remember what they're called, like a vinyl or whatever. But yeah, not sticky. But I've glued that on because I just thought, you know, I want to make a really cool box, and then I just put all sorts of glitter and stuff on it, and I did film it, so I don't know, I haven't edited that yet. I'll probably again just show it in the backdrop video. There's not a ton to that. My poison bottle, I actually cut the lights out of that because they stopped working, and I don't know, the lid got stuck and I didn't want to break it, so I just thought, it's no longer a light up poison bottle, it's just a poison bottle. I still really like it though. And then just some storage containers. I've got like some Easter decorations, which I did buy for Easter for the backdrop and never actually showed them in a video. But for next Easter I will have some little Easter decorations that are super cute. And then this other potion bottle, which I'm not sure where I'm putting yet. I probably need to rearrange the height of the shelves as well. So anyway, I just thought I'd share this with you. I'm probably not going to use that McWilliams thing right now. I'll keep it and potentially use it for something in the future, but I think for now I'm not going to turn that into anything because I have enough projects on the go. So yeah. So I'm making a potion, and I've seen this done before in a few different tutorials and things where you use like cotton wool and different types of wool and things, and then ink, and then maybe glitter and stuff to make a potion. And it just looks sort of like a universe, I suppose, in a way, because of all the layers. The cotton in there makes it look like these sort of magical clouds in the potion, and just gives the whole thing a really interesting texture. So I had some like wool stuffing that I bought, and then I had some wool fibres from felting, so I used a bit of both. But you could use like cotton wool buds, any sort of cotton thread, that sort of texture to add those clouds in there. And then I'm just layering it up with glitter glue, and then just glitter that I'm sprinkling in as well, and then topping it with water a little bit at a time as I go. And it actually works better not to try and mix this all up together to incorporate everything. You want the glitter to kind of stay in kind of clumpy bits, because it just adds to the interest. It's like these cool little sections of glitter that come through. And it doesn't fully mix with the water, and because of the different bits of wool and stuff that I'm putting on top of it, it just adds different layers. Now Now I'm just using a fabric dye as the colouring. You could use like food colouring or something else like that if you don't have fabric dye. Now this is a like wine bottle stopper that I found and sort of kept it. I don't know why. I just always thought, oh, maybe I'll use it for something, and it worked perfectly for this project. So I'm glad I did hold on to it. Now I wanted to paint it black. I didn't want the copper. And if you wanted to do something like this, you could definitely look into some interesting wine bottle stoppers and use that as a way to decorate a bottle, or buy one that you can embellish. Now I figure this is a love potion or something along those lines, so I thought it'd be interesting to put some charms at the front of it to add a bit of interest, and so I've used a little bit of chain. I had this really pretty love heart pendant, and then I had a love heart locket looking thing, like it looks like a love heart in the shape of a lock, and then an old key. And I'm just using jump rings to attach it all. Then I just decided to use my Nuvo glitter on the top to add a bit of red sparkle. And that was basically it. Now, as you guys know, I had a bit of trouble with my little wizard suitcase because I used a double-sided tape, which was not a great double-sided tape. It didn't hold very much, so I had to actually pull all the bits off and hot glue them instead because basically all fell off and didn't stick properly. So I was originally going to use the double-sided tape because I thought maybe then I could, you know, move and replace things if I wanted to. Most, in particular, the crystals, because I thought, I might end up wanting to use some of them in jewellery. But even they wouldn't stick on with this double-sided tape, so I just went ahead and hot glued it. The rest of the stuff that's in there is stuck in with drawing pins, so that was fine. And I had to sort of work out where I wanted everything, which is kind of difficult because I wanted to be able to see as much as possible in the backdrop because I've done so many projects and I really like the way they look. So I had to think, you know, how I was going to best display everything. I decided to put most of just the plain storage jars down the bottom and try and put the display pieces in the taller shelves. But there's just no way to show all of it, so which is okay. I mean, at least I'll get to enjoy it, and I'll do my best to show some of it when I film other videos as well. Now, I decided to decorate this bottle in a really simple way because I've done so many other intricate bottles. I just had a piece of like a cotton type material, scrap bit of material, and I've wrapped that with the twine, and I think that looks really cool if you're trying to get a really old looking bottle. And I tried to make it really haphazardly wrapped. And then I had this other thicker twine as well, and so I've wrapped it with that as well. And I had to hot glue this one because I wanted it to be wrapped, I don't know, in such a way that it would need to be kind of held in place, I guess, because I just like the way it's sort of messily wrapped. And again, just putting a bit of shellac on there to give it that aged look. You could use ink instead, dye, or watered down acrylic paint even to get this sort of colour. And then I just went in with a little bit of the bronze wax as well. Just a really simple bottle, this one. And I picked up this newspaper that was printed from the old press when we were in New Zealand. It's, you know, from an 18 something paper that they brought out. So I liked that idea and decided to paint that as well, make it look aged, and wrap that up and put it in the backdrop. guys, well this is the finished product of the backdrop now. I'll scan down and show you what it looks like. It's filled with all the projects that I've brought to you over the last, gosh, I think a couple of months, maybe even longer. So we've got all sorts of different bits and pieces in this backdrop, and you will start to see me film in front of the backdrop. I will need to work out exactly where I'm going to be situated. I've got my bust here with costume bits and pieces sitting on it, and the neck corset that I created some time ago, and my little skeleton raven. But as you can see, it's a mixture of decorative items and bottles of beads, so like craft storage, various containers of beads and sequins and glitters, and mixed in with some lovely decorative items. Got all different containers I can use for storage down there. The two on the end are just purely decorative, so there's a mixture of some just decorative bottles and some actual usable bottles. The very small potion bottles you see with the brown organza on them are purely decorative as well, because I didn't make them so that you could sort of open it and put things in it easily, because I knew I just wanted them to be decorative. But I mean, I could have made them so the lid could come off and do it differently if I needed more storage. Down here, hiding away, and I probably don't have enough light shining on that, I've got that steampunk bottle that I created. I've got another quite basic bottle that I created just as a bit of an extra filler prop. This jeweled bottle. Now the jeweled one I could definitely put things in. In fact, the steampunk one I could potentially as well, but currently I haven't put anything in those. The gold one there, I couldn't, because I just tied material around the top so you couldn't easily get in and out of that. Again, I did that on purpose, knowing I probably wouldn't use it. But then you can see I've got some containers down here where I've put some, I actually got some Easter decorations that I was planning to use in my backdrop and ran out of time to actually film a specific Easter video for you guys, but I have them there if I ever want to use them. And a host of different insects, the lock and key I got from Lanark Castle, little feather and quill, you know, the wizarding supplies, various potions and little creatures hiding away. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this unfold, and you know, have a think about your own craft room and be a bit more creative with it. Maybe, you know, do you have some areas that you'd love to make look more inspiring and whimsical, and you know, like an apothecary, and then incorporate storage into it, because storage doesn't have to just be utilitarian, it can be creative as well. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this series of the backdrop, and I hope you'll enjoy watching the videos to come, where you will see this backdrop in the back of the video where it's intended. Alright guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time in Faewood. Bye guys.